Hey guys, this is 97 Lego Maniac with another custom minifigure review. It's been like months since I uploaded a last video. I believe it was my toy toxicity video, and I said I was gonna make part 2. But if I'm being completely honest, I never start editing part 2 because work is just so busy. A lot of things going on in my personal life, so that's why I've been like taking a hold on my channel. I've been unmotivated for a while, but I want to at least upload this, and it's my custom minifigure collection of the hit series Arcane from League of Legends. So yeah, my quick opinions on it. I love the show. The show's awesome. There's one thing Riot Games can do right besides balancing their game. It's making really good content surrounding League of Legends, and Arcane is just one of them, and I can't wait for season 2. So yeah, I started this project earlier this year, and I finished it not that long ago. It is currently now June. I finished this like in May, so it took me almost like half a year to complete 10 minifigs. So yeah, my opinions on the game. Well, the game is just like the intro to Arcane. Oh, the misery. Everybody wants to be my enemy. So yeah, I mean, despite how much I hate the game sometimes, because there are times that I feel like the game is not fair, or they keep constantly changing a lot that just ruins everything. The game's addicting. However, if you're thinking about playing League, do not play League. I swear, please do not. If you're a newbie and you want to get into League, you're gonna have a rough time, and I don't recommend it. Honestly, play something else. Play Legends of Runeterra, watch the show, watch the esports competition. Not that like that even matters, because those are getting stale lately. But I literally focus on anything else surrounding the game, but just avoid the game itself. That's all I can say. Even as someone who's been playing it for only a year so far, and I'm unranked, because I don't do ranked because people are toxic. I just want to play casually. Yeah, just avoid the game at all costs. So yeah, that's enough of that.
I want to give a huge shout out to Riot Games once again. I talked about them on Instagram, but they actually reached out to me on a DM asking if they could share my minifigures on their website. I said, please go ahead. So they did it. So that was really kind of them. They also sent me free RP for my birthday. So that was awesome.
Let's just move on to the minifigures. First minifigure in the collection is Vi. She was the very first figure I finished in 2022, and she's definitely up there in my top 10 favorite minifigures I've made of all time. I put a lot of effort into her, just because, she's the main character. She's also the main champion in the game. I have to make sure that she's the best I can make. So yeah, starting from the top, her hair is completely sculpted, 100%. Yeah, I decided to try to practice sculpting hair from scratch. I've been doing that with like my Link figure and pretty much all my Genshin figures so far, and I want to do it for pretty much almost everyone on Arcane. So yeah, so this was really fun to sculpt though. I'm trying to make sure it's kind of Lego-like, but also kind of anime-ish, because you can tell by the shape and all that. It's not exactly Lego-like. Does fall more in the cartoon category, but I did try to make sure it fits in the realm of Lego. So that's what I try to do, and I'm trying to get better at that in sculpting hair. I'm still iffy on it, but hey, practice makes perfect. I also sculpted like the hood, her jacket. I cut that from like a Lego sale piece, and I just cut my own jacket. I painted her arms, painted all the tattoos here, so you can see all those little details, and painted all the details on the white torso. And for like the belt, we're just removing that gauntlet here. I also cut some pieces of fabric and e-tape for like her belt and stuff. I sculpted like a little pouch here, and I sculpted her little knee pad, and I painted the rest. These gauntlets are from Brick Warriors, I believe, and these are pretty much very identical to Vi's gauntlets. They have these pieces for a very, very, very long time. They're called Power Fist on their site, so if you want to check it out. These are exactly Vi's gauntlets in game and in the show. So I have a feeling when they made these gauntlets many years ago, they had League of Legends in mind, because Brick Wars Earth has like a lot of like knights, mythic and steampunk sort of technology for like custom minifigure accessories. And since League of Legends has all of those, I have a feeling they made that for League fans so they can make like League purists or something like that. That's what I think, because these are so uncanny to the appearance of the game. So I feel like that is no coincidence. Were definitely Vi's gauntlets, and they were selling them as League of Legends figures, because League of Legends is a really popular game, so it makes sense. So yeah, that's pretty much it for Vi though. Oh yeah, and as for the head, I didn't really paint the eyes or the mouth. All I really did was just like repaint the eyebrows, paint the Vi tattoo, paint her little nose ring, and paint little scratches in here and there. And yeah, I don't know what head this is. I don't know what the head this is, but I thought it worked really well for Vi. So yeah, there we go. Next minifigure we have is Jinx, and this Jinx figure, it is my very first one was actually based off the actual model in the game, but that was actually a Secret Santa gift for one of my friends from the toy design program, because she introduced League to my girlfriend introduced League to me, and pretty much me and almost half her family plays the game, and we sometimes play together, so that's fun. So starting from the top, her hair is actually a Widow's Peak hair piece. That's the one thing I didn't sculpt. But what I did, I just sculpted like the braids in the back and her hair in the front, and dry brushed all of that. Dry brushed to make it look like it's like on kind of tattered and dirty. The gold bands here, that's actually E-tape. As for the head, the only thing I kept was the eyes. I painted everything else, especially her mouth. I didn't go with the crazy face like what she normally has in the game, because in the show she's more depressed than anything. So I kind of want to show that for this figure, for this iteration of Jinx. And to go over the rest of the figure, a lot of people some people in like the Riot's post talk about how oh my goodness, why does Jinx look so wide? Like, buddy, have you not seen a Lego minifigure before? This is like exactly the skinnier they can get. Plus, I always shave down the sides of the torso to kind of make it look like they don't look too wide. I try my best. Okay, leave me alone. So the only thing I really did, I painted the rest. The only thing I really sculpted was like pretty much like little belt buckles here, but that's mostly dry sculpted. Fabric around like her waist, E-tape for the belt. And yeah, that's pretty much that. Now the main attraction of this figure are her weapons. So here we have Pow Pow, which is very complicated. It's like a Lego wheel with like a Lego stud piece, a bunch of antenna piece, flex tube, a bucket handle, styrene, dried to procreate, all cut up and just like glued together. We also have her gun zapper here, but it's more like just an actual gun, not a zapper gun like in a game. So we have that. It's just like a normal revolver with like a little bit of paint and some dry procreate. I also have her little grenades, which I just sculpted on top of like a normal brick arms grenade, and dry sculpted all these details here. And last but not least, we have Fishbones, her giant rocket launcher. And this was really fun to make. Very complicated, but it's very much like a laser space gun with a telescope piece with a bunch of like plastic, and obviously I sculpted a head, so all that into one. So yeah, very, very fun figure. Really happy that I finished this, and yeah, and I can finally move on. This was not the most challenging figure to make in this collection, but it was definitely tedious to make all those weapons. The third minifigure we have is Caitlyn, and she's the character I am hard stuck Mastery 5 on, because it is so difficult to get an S grade as an ADC main. It really is. So yeah, and she was the main I started off. Well, I started off with Ahri, but then when I dabbled into like other champs, I eventually landed on Caitlyn. I don't know why I liked Caitlyn. Maybe because she's hot, and she also has a gun, and I'm better with ranged champs because I don't like engaging and all that shit. So yeah, I made Caitlyn before, based off her old appearance before her new visual update, and I want to make her visual update and a Battle Aka's skin for her at some point in the future. But as of right now, that's not in my mind right now. So I want to focus on other customs and want to stay away from League for a while. Just need a quick break. So yeah, starting off with from the top. Her hair is completely sculpted by me yet again. I could have done like the widow's peak hair piece and then sculpted the other stuff on it, but I decided to not do that because I want to practice like sculpting hair from scratch more. So yeah, and I think I did a pretty good job to make sure that looks Lego-like, because I try to make sure that's smooth and kind of mimic the pattern of the widow's peak. So that was fun. As for the head, all I really did, I just kept the eyes, but I completely painted the eyebrows and the mouth all by myself. And I did something funny by giving her like a little buck tooth, because she does have a little gap in between her teeth. I think that's kind of cute. And I kind of based it off the splash art when she has her mouth slightly open, because I want to make her different somehow. I don't want to make closed mouth for all my characters. So yeah, moving on to the body here. This little white cuff here is sculpted. I also sculpted like the stuff around her hand as well. She has a really weird outfit. I know this is like her Zaun disguise. But I don't mind it. I kind of wish she came with a top hat, I know she had a top hat in her Enforcer outfit, but for this, I wish she came with like a brown hat or something like that. I think that would have been nice. So yeah, and the front here, this part is all made with E-tape. The back here is also E-tape. I actually removed all the stickiness from the back of this, so that way I can like frill it up a little bit more to give it more of a dynamic look. I also sculpted like the hood. The shoulder parts are actually with E-tape that I wrapped around, and her head around her neck, that's all sculpted, and her legs I just like painted. So yeah, as for her gun, it's just a standard like brick arms gun musket, but I sanded like the back here, and I sculpted the little thing here. Originally I wanted to make this functional, like to have this fold up, but that was way too complicated and just unnecessary in my opinion, so I just left it like that. So yeah, that's pretty much it for Caitlyn. Now we're going to talk about the best boy of the series, and that is Ekko. Ekko is probably the most difficult figure in this list, and I will go into that later by going over his accessories. So yeah, starting from the top, his hood, his mask, all sculpted. Scarf, all sculpted. The trench coat, that was actually an old trench coat from Cape Madness I had with a sculpted hood on it. And I also made his like little work apron here with like E-tape and fabric. So yeah, and that can be removable. His little stick here, just made that with a bunch of like Lego parts glued together. And I think this piece, for instance, that's actually a brick arms gun that I cut up for my old Caitlyn figure. So I was able to repurpose that. His stopwatch I made with like a simple like chain here and glued like a little piece of a Lego bar there so he can still hold it. And this is, I think it was like a pommel piece of a sword from Brick Arms, and I just like put some glue, some dry sculpt in there. So yeah, that's how he made his stopwatch. And yeah, and his knee pads are also sculpted as well. So yeah, removing his gear, his get up here, you can see his head that I painted, and I also sculpted his hair as well. So yeah, so you can display him with the dreadlocks hair just like that. I forgot, I believe it was going this way. Yeah, so yeah, you can display him with the hair and all that here. So that's really fun. You can also like take off his trench coat here, and I'll do that off camera so I can show you guys. So yeah, I can display him without the trench coat if I want, but I prefer him with the trench coat because he looks like a badass like that. But this is definitely one possible option. So yeah, I didn't show the back of the trench coat, but you can see more of the graffiti pattern, all the paint and stuff like that. So yeah, that's really, really cool. So yeah, Ekko is the best character in this series, my god. So, and I want to show you guys why it took him this long to make. Alright, moving on to why Ekko took me a long time. I decided to make him a custom base for the first time. This is the only custom base I made for Arcane, and I feel like I have to make it for this because Ekko has a really cool hoverboard, and my girlfriend was like, yo, why can't you make it like LED? I'm like, well, if I want to make the hoverboard a separate piece and make it LED, I can't have that both ways, because where the batteries are supposed to be. But then it hit me, why not I do the hoverboard LED, but it's a base, so that way I can hide the battery underneath. So I got these the battery compartment, the switch here, and all the LED that I glued on here, those really micro ones. So this is the LED, so it's really, really tiny. I got all from evandesign.com, so you can check that out. but you need your own soldering iron though. You need a soldering iron if you want to fuse all those together. So yeah, I brought like 3 micro LED and a switch and a battery. So when I push this button, all of the 3 LEDs glow from here, one in the middle and one on the bottom. And what I really like about the LED on the bottom, it makes this look like green fume, and I think that's very fitting. So yeah, and all the wires travel down this tube here. Let me turn that off so you can see. They all travel down this clear plastic tube, so that way when you would display them like this, you can't really see the wires at all, which I think is sweet. So I turn that on. I'll have Ekko, and the hoverboard itself is like made with like styrene, Procreate, some Lego pieces, a washer piece. So yeah, and so I can like put him on a stud here, so it looks like he's flying. So yeah, that's the coolest part. That is the coolest thing I've ever made for like for a custom minifig, and I hope I can do more like this in the future. This is like the really cool thing I've done for my Arcane figures, and yeah, I'm definitely displaying Ekko like this. So yeah, that's why he took me quite a while. Next minifigure we have is our beta male Jayce. I'm kidding. So Jayce is a really fun character to make. He was very simple. So starting from like the top, this is actually the only character in this figure that doesn't have a completely sculpted hair. This is actually all Lego. I decided to just use the new Superman hairpiece because it just fits well for him. And as for the head, it's actually a Poe Dameron head, but I only just changed the mouth. So yeah. The reason why I went with that because I don't feel like painting stubbles on a new head myself, so I decided to just repurpose a Poe Dameron head for my old Poe Dameron custom. So yeah, for the only thing I really sculpted, it's just the shoulder pads like this here. And as for the rest of it, I just like completely painted. And what I did, because I don't want to make Jayce a little bit shorter than most standard minifigures, I used the Lego Batman belt, cut off the belt parts, but keep like this. But keep like the brace around it, so that way it looks like his torso or leg got extended. And yeah, so that was fun. What's not fun is trying to glue this on, because the problem with the belt piece is it's kind of a waxy material, so paint and glue won't really stay on for that long. So I have to be careful with this. The Arcane, what is this called? Like the hex sphere. I don't know, I forgot what this is called, but this is actually the transparent glue antenna piece. I just cut the ball off. These were actually not cheap on Bricklink, I discovered. So rest in peace to any purist or any mock builders who wanted to buy multiple of these. I stole one from you just for a little minifigure. Haha, take that. Anyway, the hammer was actually the most challenging part. It was just mostly like a bunch of Lego pieces, like lightsabers, like a rod. And for the hammer part itself, this is actually all made by styrene. I just cut it, I glued it, I sanded it, and painted it to make it look like the hammer that he used in the show, and also in the game, because this is his main weapon in the game since he is a main champ. So yeah, that's pretty much it for Jayce, our little beta male who got distracted by pussy instead of focusing on hex tech to save lives. Unlike our next figure, Viktor, ladies and gentlemen, the Sigma male himself. He's always on that Sigma grind set, saving the world, while Jayce is letting women distract him. So yeah, Viktor is also a really good character in the show, and I really can't wait to see him descend into madness and become a cyborg and possibly a rival to Jayce and stuff like that, just like because I believe he was like that in the game. So yeah, I can't wait to see that. So starting from the top, I sculpted his hair yet again. Not my best work though. It's not as spiky as I wanted, but it's fine though. As for the heads, I went with like this knockoff Doc Ock head, just with like the glasses and all that erased, because usually knockoff minifigures have like a slightly different skin tone than normal minifigures. They look a little bit more paler. So I use that because Viktor, in the show, he's sick. So kind of want to show that through this figure. And as for like the rest of the minifig, this is the most challenging part, is how to make his cane and how to make it look like he's crippled. So what I did, I got like a normal torso. I cut partially all the way up to almost at the edge, and I bend it. And what I did, I fill in those holes with Procreate, let that dry, and I sanded it as if you can't even see it. You can't even tell it was there. So yeah, I purposely bent his torso. I also cut like the arm peg here. I fill in the hole there. And then I glue this arm in a fixed position, so you cannot move this arm at all. And what I did for the rest, I just grabbed like a Harry Potter wand piece, a Lego bar piece, and I also like cut up some other Lego pieces here and made his cane like that. It's not entirely accurate. His cane's not entirely accurate at all because it does not curve up like that, but I have to do it for the sake of this minifigure, and it only works for Lego minifigures only. As for the rest, I painted like the torso, and I dry sculpted all the brace on his leg. So yeah, that's pretty much it for Viktor. Really simple figure, but there's a surprising lot of work put into this. So yeah. This will be really quick. So this is Heimerdinger. The Councilman Heimerdinger, the most annoying character in the game, and he's not based in the show either. I don't know, he's kind of stupid in my opinion, for a lot of reasons. But anyway, moving on. What I did here, I want to make sure he's definitely smaller than, you know, your average minifig. So I decided to use a baby figure on him. So what I did, I had this old baby figure that didn't have arms originally, because I was using those arms for a Yoda custom, I think, back then. So I still had this base, but instead of giving him posable arms, because I don't think there's any point in making him move his arms, I decided to sculpt the arms, but take the hands from the same minifig, and then just make it look like as if he has his hands behind his back, because he does do that a lot in the show, and I'm just making him just for like a little accessory piece, really, more than a custom minifigure. His head still rotates though, so I did sculpt all this like on a baby head. So the eyes here, those are from a baby minifigure, and I just like sculpt all the fur around that. I had to dry brush all this so it looks like it's kind of like a painted style in Arcane. So that was fun. Painting all this detail on his suit, very tiny, but it gets the job done. So yeah, that's pretty much it for Heimerdinger. Not much. Next minifigure we have is Councilwoman Mel. Originally I didn't want to make her, but my good buddy Jason, who also watched the show, he said he likes Mel because she's a baddie. He really likes his dark-skinned cartoon females. So I'm like, okay, you know what, Jason? Because you're so horny for her, I will make her for you. So that's exactly what I did. If Jason never simped for Mel, I probably would never make her. That's a lie. I probably would, because she is kind of a baddie though. So yeah, starting from the top, her hair is also completely sculpted by me. So this was a lot of fun. I had to sculpt it just like how I sculpted Caitlyn's face for the first part, pretending as if I'm making a widow's peak hair. And then what I do after that, I sculpted like these two buns on top, make sure that it blends in smoothly. I make sure I rough them up a little bit, because it's kind of like because, you know, African hair are kind of like rough in texture and curly, so I try to make it look like that the best I can, but still not too far from how Lego would do it. And as for like her dreads, like this was the challenging part. I just have to I had to twist like a couple of Procreate, and then glue them on, and then wrap them all around here, and then I have to like attach all these little like gold bits, like decorative pieces on as well. So yeah. As for the head is actually an Agent Collar head from Star Wars, with like certain things erased, like cheekbones and such like that, so I can actually paint the rest of her gold accessories on. So that was fun. For the torso, I sanded the curves, just like all my female characters, and I painted the rest. The only thing I did that's not painting, it's really just cutting a piece of E-tape for her, for like a little dress, and my god, she's got some thighs, man. So yeah, I can see why Jason sims for her, because I'm about to fall into the dark side. So yeah, that's pretty much it for her. Pretty simple. I could have given her accessory maybe, but I didn't really feel like to. So yeah. Would it be far-fetched to say that Silco is one of the best TV protagonists in an animated show ever? Because that's how I feel. The voice actor did a sexy job with his voice. Like, oh my god, he sounds so majestic. And the character himself is so good. So yeah, starting from the top, I sculpted the hairpiece completely from scratch yet again. And I kind of based this off like the T'Challa Star-Lord hairpiece, the way it looks, but with like the front part, it's a bit different though, obviously. So yeah, as for the head, I just grabbed like a normal Lego head. I kept the eyes. I changed the mouth though, and I went with an X-Acto knife to give him these little scarring there, and for the torso and the rest I just painted it, and I try to make sure the paint is detailed as I can get it, and I tried to make sure I did a very clean paint job, and I think I didn't succeed in that. So yeah, that's pretty much it for Silco. Oh yeah, and I grabbed like a Mace Windu lightsaber piece, cut off a little piece of it, painted the little caps so that way it's shimmer. So yeah, that's pretty much it for Silco. Really simple figure, best TV antagonist, and also unironically a best father figure. Oh my goodness, my background's falling apart. So yeah, my background's falling apart just like Jinx's mental state. So yeah, that's pretty much it for Silco. Of course, you can't have the best dad without the best uncle, right? So yeah, I made Vander only because I made Silco, so I have to make him to complete the collection and to make it even, all 10 characters. So yeah, for Vander, starting from the top, I sculpted his hair. I didn't really do a good job on this. I kind of rushed it, to be honest, but I did what I can. As for like the rest of the figure, this head is actually a Lord of the Rings head, and then apparently from what Jason told me, it's also rare. So purists suck my dick. If you care about it so much, why didn't you go and buy it before I did? Anyway, moving on to the rest of the figure though, the jacket I made that using a Lego cape sail, and then and I glued this little fabric here on top to kind of make it, make him look a little bit beefy. I painted the torso. As for like this belt, this ab piece here, I made that with E-tape, wrapped that around. I also sculpted like the little buckles here with Procreate. I also sculpted his little knee pads, and just like Jayce, I also made him a little bit taller using the same Batman belt method. So yeah, that's pretty much it for Vander. Very simple figure, and really like how he turned out. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching this video. If you like it, please like and subscribe. Follow me on my other social media sites. I'm mostly active on Instagram. I sometimes stream on Twitch, rarely, when I play video games and stuff like that. So you can check that out if you wish. So yeah, that is it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys later. Bye-bye.